Broadcasting live, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning to all our fans, loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. Welcome to KMA episode 397, coming up on Landmark 400 soon. Broadcasting from Boynton Beach, Florida, with my trusty gang, the Italian scallion, Paul DeGracco, which will be coming up on here, and my buddy, my Paul from South Philly, Alex Tavella. What's up, boys?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey.
Nobody.
I thought you always announce Alex first, so
I saw that there was
a
switch. He threw me in as the Italian scallion.
I like variety.
Man.
I figure I was planning on being in costume today.
So what happened?
The plan was, I don't know if either of you ever saw this. I've had some pretty epic costumes. Really over the years. One of these years I did a really, really good devil. I mean, literally, like I went to a makeup artist. I had these.
I was around for that. I
had these horns protruding over my head. I had these contacts in. I had a whole makeup artist do my thing. I had next gen nails put on my thing, pointed black tip nails. My hands were red. My skin was red. And I think it was during a Pete Johnson event.
I was going to say, it was at the Twahe event that night.
Yeah. It was freaking everybody out. It looked so real. So Pete wanted to go grab some lunch, so I had to go to lunch in the full gear. And oh yeah. So listen, I walk in, the whole restaurant stops. I mean, it was like Universal Studios quality makeup, and people started taking photos and selfies with me. And the funniest thing is, as we were walking out, there was like this elderly couple sitting at a table. And I saw them staring at me, and they look at me and they go, and I just went to them. I went, see you real soon. True story. The whole restaurant busted out laughing. So my wife did this thing maybe about 3-4 years ago. It was really badass. It was really cool. But she does my makeup, and she makes me a 2D cartoon.
That's weird.
Yeah, I got a picture. I'll find it. I'll text it to you. You put it here. But she literally makes me so I look like a comic book in real person, in real life. She does the makeup like that. And
that's cool though. I've seen that. That's really cool.
It is cool. And I was going to do it today, and she's gotten a lot better at it because that was like 4 years ago. But you got to shave your beard. So what happened was, this was the plan, and she got the makeup. We're ready to do it. But I ended up seeing some pictures of me from the last time I did it. And after I did the drag event without the beard, I didn't want to go another.
Yeah, it's brutal. Looking at you without a beard, I don't know you without a beard. It's brutal.
Yeah, I'm not shaving the beard again. So that
wow.
That costume got shot down last night.
So do you dress up? Like, do you go out with the kids at all? Do you dress up? Do you do anything?
I don't walk around. I mean, I walk around with the kids. I don't dress up to walk around with the kids. But there's no trick or treating this year. They got some private.
Really?
Yeah, there's no trick or treating in our neighborhood.
We are.
there's a private party that 3 of my kids are going to, and the oldest one's got another friend's party, so they're going there and they'll have fun. But yeah, there's no trick. In fact, did you get the info, Alex, you were looking for yesterday?
Yeah, Marissa took care of it. That's
Good.
The nice part about Abe having so many kids. I just tag my kid along, and nobody even knows he's there. It doesn't even matter.
He's like the fifth wheel. He's just another one.
Yeah, it just exists. Nobody realizes.
Where did your neighborhood send out something that there's no trick or treating, or you guys just don't want to send them?
In the Facebook group, there was a lot of things. Oh, we're gonna put a table out. We're gonna.
Yeah, we had that too. I think they're gonna do that.
Parties.
We're gonna go to like a couple of our neighbors here, and then we have family up in Jupiter. We're just gonna go to like 3 or 4 of their friends, houses in their townhouse area, and just do that so the kids can get out. But I have a costume. You want to see it?
Absolutely, I do.
I'm gonna show you the costume.
Show me the Disney costume you're wearing.
I should have taken a picture of Axel and I together so it makes more sense. But you guys have kids, so you might know who this is. But if not, I have an image.
The only Disney costume I will have any little respect for you is that if you are the Mandalorian and you make one of your babies Baby Yoda. That's about it.
Oh, that would have been a good idea. I'm not a Star Wars guy.
After that, I probably can't have respect
All
for
right. Well, here we go.
Less.
Here we go. That's my
Is
costume.
it Zurg? Are you Zurg?
Yeah. Oh, you got it. Yeah, Zurg.
All right. So who's the kid?
My son Axel is going to be Buzz because he's always Buzz, and my
son was
other
Buzz
son
Fish.
is going to be an alien. We got a baby alien costume from Toy Story.
Is Zurg from one of the Toy Story
Yeah,
movies?
The original, correct?
He's the
No.
arch nemesis. He's in all of them.
Original. I watched the original. There's no Zurg in it.
Well, they talk about him. They reference him.
Oh.
So he's Buzz Lightyear's arch nemesis.
Oh. Yeah, I could probably say I would never wear that.
I figure you would like that one.
You know, it's really funny because I've never been one of these guys to really get into Halloween. I mean, like really, like I just never think about it. And then I've had the most epic costumes ever. For whatever reason, I get inspired at the last minute and I'll do something. And, I don't do it every year, but I've had some pretty epic costumes. I had one year where I was a big hit. It wasn't epic because I was in college and broke, but like I was not going to go dressed to a costume party. I just wasn't going to do it.
Right.
And once again, last minute, people talked me into doing shit and whatever. So I had two roommates at the time, and I think the toilet seats was broken in one of our bathrooms. So
no.
Somebody had just gone to Home Depot and got a toilet seat. That of course, none of us had put on yet. Still in the packaging for probably like a month. So I take the toilet seat. I get a bed sheet. I throw it over my head. I get a coat hanger. I concoct this thing to go around my waist and stick out with a roll of toilet paper. And then
Time out. You got a coat hanger around your waist?
multiple coat hangers, you smart ass.
Okay.
So I concocted this thing to go around my waist and hold a roll of toilet paper, put a bed sheet over my head, mounted the toilet bowl on my shoulders, and then moronically painted my face brown with shoe polish.
So
I was a
you were
shithead. I was a shithead.
Wow.
All right.
That's pretty funny though. I would have liked that costume.
Dude.
With shoe polish, no less.
That's all we had. I had
How-
nothing around. That's all we had.
Did it come off?
No, I was like dark for like a week. But I was the
Oh my
hit of
God.
the party that night. But I
Were
was
you
the-
working? Were you working at your dad's store then?
I was at Indiana University, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say I can imagine you coming in the next day with shoe polish that didn't wash off your face, and your dad's
His
like,
father
"What
would
the
have
hell are
never
you
let him
doing?"
use toilet paper as a prop if he was working at the store.
Well, we would if it was like the 4 for $1 ones, not
Right,
like the Charmin. Not
Don't use the Charmin.
No, don't use the Charmin. But yeah, I've had some epic costumes. Alex, you ever get? I don't think I've seen you dressed since I've met you.
I haven't. I was just telling Paul before the show. I like 2 years ago, I tried to wear a gorilla mask with my son, and it just didn't go over well with him. He ran away. So yeah,
Oh.
I don't do the parent kid thing. He's really not into it, and I couldn't tell you the last time I wore a costume. Mischief night was more our night, or whatever. The night before Halloween. By the time I was like 12, that was the big
Well, I
fun.
was gonna say you probably went out with the shaving cream and the
Throwing eggs and toilet
eggs.
paper and shit.
Listen,
that kind of
I had deviant friends. I had friends that would they would go out in their mom's minivan and they would fill bags with syrup. Like go to the supermarket and buy syrup, and they would throw plastic baggies of syrup so that they would splash on people that were walking by. The evil people, man.
Oh yeah. That sounds like fun.
Even they did some bad things back in the day for Halloween. It seems like it's tamer now.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't get a little bit more into it now with your son. But it's funny because you said you scared him with the gorilla. When I did a devil, my kids were a lot younger. Scared the hell out of the little ones.
Right.
And then part of the cartoon thing, I had gotten some blackout contacts, so my eyes would look solid black.
That's so scary.
I just texted you a picture, Paul. So
Oh, okay, I'll get it up.
So, but I'm not going to use them. Obviously, so I'm going to let my daughter use them because she wanted some. But I had put them on yesterday when I got home from work, and one of my daughters was playing piano, and they're all sitting around. And I just came out of the bedroom, like going like this, with my eyes closed, and then I went like this to Asher, and they'll go, bro. They freaked. I mean, it's, as an adult, they freak. My oldest was like a little like,
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I scared the Asher freaked out. My son.
I bet he did, man.
All
right, hold on. I got the picture. I think I got it. Yeah, here it is. All right. Let me upload it. Here it is. This is it, right? That's you?
That's like
all right, here you go.
There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Notice my eyes are too big. It can't get all the whites out.
Right.
Oh, it's supposed to be the whole thing was black?
Yeah, your whole eye is supposed to be black, but my eyes are too big.
That makes it even better. Yeah, I have a buddy that does that every year, the contacts, and it's just he can't see out of them because they're not. He has prescription contacts normally, so he wears those like green contacts every year, and that's his costume. He wears the green contacts and answers the door. But he's got kids now too, so he's wearing a Disney costume actually himself this year. He's going to be the Oogie Boogie Man from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Really?
Which is a cool costume.
Is that the main guy?
No, he's the big green blob guy that like kidnaps Santa Claus after they get him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah. So we are going to go out today, but I mean, our HOA said the same thing. Like, there's not really trick or treat, but we're going to go to like our 2 or 3 neighbors that we know. They're ready to have kids come.
Yeah, it's a weird year for kids, man. I was thinking about yesterday, like, is Mall Santa going to exist this year? Are there going to be pictures on Santa? It's really a tough year for kids.
You probably can't be on his lap. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that, to be honest.
Crazy enough, they're shutting down places all over again. It's
right.
starting again. I just can't. I was supposed to take my kids to Chicago.
It's all shut down again. I just had a friend that went up there. He's up there now. He's like, it's all shut down.
They just, as of yesterday, Friday or yesterday, they shut it all. Yeah, yesterday they shut it all down again. Everything is shut down again. If you fly in, you have to be quarantined for 14 days. Yeah. So yeah, we said screw it. We are not going back to Chicago we're not going to Chicago for the break. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe that they are shutting things down again.
I know it's definitely a second wave. Just don't be in a city where Trump's doing a rally, because it seems like the COVID is following him to all these rallies.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
He was giving Laura Ingraham shit the other day because she was wearing a mask, and he's like, Laura Ingraham, you're wearing a mask? How politically correct of you! Like, in front of the rally of people.
Right.
It was a little weird.
I find it funny. I find it funny how it happens to be problematic only when certain groups gather, not when other groups gather. So
I don't disagree, but the other groups are going in their cars, from what I see.
Rallies bad, protests.
Yeah, what about all the protests? All the rallies. Get out.
Rallies bad.
That's right. You're right. I agree with that. When the protests were going on, you're right. They were congregating too close and all that stuff. I'll give you that. I'll agree with that. Paul, I'm being yelled at by some of our fans. Paul, no politics on KMA.
Paul, what's the matter with you? No politics. Oh.
So we have a great guest today.
We do have a guest. Today's guest has been in the cigar industry for more than 25 years. It's a lot. It's a long time.
Oh yeah.
Damn, he's old. He works for the company, sells millions of cigars in more than 70 countries worldwide. He's a guy who knows the business from one end to the other. Let's give a warm KMA welcome to Gurkha Cigars Vice President of Sales, Juan, as they like to call him, Lopez.
Good morning. What's going on, Abe? How are you, gentlemen? Paul,
what's up, my brother?
Doing fantastic. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me again.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. So, how are things in the Gurkhaverse?
Things are good, man. Just finally, the factories are finally sending more product, which we needed. As you know, a lot of the factories have been at 35-50% capacity. So just waiting to get product. A lot of back order issues. Things are getting fixed. We actually, this month of October, We have the best month we've had in a very long time, just because we're getting a lot of the product that we've been missing on the back order on all the new stuff, the San Miguel, the Nicaragua, the Treinta, some of the Cellar Reserve stuff that's still our top selling cigars. So yeah, man, we're doing good. We're doing good. We're excited about finishing the year strong, and the more product we get, the more we're gonna sell, and looking forward to a great 2021, and I think it's gonna be good. Really excited.
Well, you guys got a couple new releases. We just hit them off the bat because I'm smoking one right now, and so is Alex.
Nice. I'm inside the house because it's raining outside, so I can't go outside and smoke. And I'm not gonna smoke inside my house just because I don't want to hear from Bianca. I don't need the headache.
Story of my life. Story of my life, Juan.
Juan, you're where? Miami? Are you in Miami?
Yeah, I just moved. I was telling Paul earlier. I just moved up to Coral Springs, so now I literally. I'm a Broward guy now. I'm a Miami boy from all my life. But now what's the good thing about it is I literally get in my car. I'm 8 minutes away from my office. So it's not 45 minutes, no traffic, which is great. I'm only a mile and a half from University, which is all the restaurants, all the bars, the important things, the bars. And so I'm pretty excited. But what's funny is I find myself going back to Miami every chance I get. And now I've literally become like a premium Uber guy because I'm not going to drink and drive home. Right. And it's a $65 Uber ride each way from the Gable. So yeah, it's becoming a little expensive, but once this thing, gets a little bit better and things open up normally, I would like to get to know the neighborhood. I've only been here for about 5 months. So I'm excited to be up in Broward, something new, something different, change of scenery. And like I said, it's great just to be able to get in your car and drive 8 minutes to the office, which is, 4 miles or whatever it is. And it's awesome.
You're closer to us too. You're closer to us.
I am closer to you. It's funny because I sent some of my guys to Abe's place, and I'm like, I realized that you guys are only 25 minutes away, which is awesome. So I'm gonna need, but 25 minutes, 25 minutes is not that bad compared to, in Miami, 25 minutes, you go 3 miles.
Get your mile and a half, right?
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to definitely hanging out more in some of the smoking stores and hanging out with the boys over there in Palm Beach and getting, making Abe some money in the bar because he knows that's where to spend my money.
Bro, Juani can put it away.
So I haven't drank in about 14 days.
Tell me you grabbed something.
Hey, look, this is last night.
Whoa.
Hey, and I'm at 100%. It's all good. I needed to have a drink. I needed to make sure that I got all my senses back. So yeah, been drinking it up, man. It's been fun.
So
well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
let's talk about that because you said you needed to get your senses back.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody really knows this. So go ahead.
Nobody knows. And what's crazy is this. So I started traveling, I would say before a lot of the other people did in the business, because I like to be out there with my guys and listen, we're a hand sold product. That's what Gurkha really is. Either you love us or you hate us. That's just the way it is. So I went out and I went to Atlanta, I went to Memphis, went to Baltimore. You guys know the reasons why. I'm not gonna get into it. And he's saying so. I'm not hugging people. I'm doing the fist bump, the elbow, blah 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 blah. Doing events, within reason. 20 guys at a time. One guy per humidor, blah blah. But every time I would come back, Jim Colucci would maybe get a test. So I get a test for COVID. I was negative all 4 trips. So I decided to go to pay my respects to Gene Tipton, dear friend of ours, up in Tampa, and I stay in Sarasota at my girlfriend's dad's house. Dude, we stay there. The old man wasn't feeling well, but it is what it is. So what happens? Yeah, we come back on Friday night. I go to Empire, the new Empire in Dayland, and I meet up with Jack Torano, all these guys in the business, and we're like here, like talking like next to each other. I'm feeling great, and then Saturday I'm not feeling so well. I go, okay, maybe I'm just hungover. That's what I was thinking the whole time. Hungover, I drank a lot, blah blah blah. And then Sunday I really started feeling like crap. So Monday morning I call Colucci and I go, listen, man, I'm not gonna go into the office because I don't feel well. And he goes, Juan, go get tested. So I went and got tested. And there it was, and so I got COVID. The first thing that happened was so the first guy I talked to after I get my positive after Colucci, I talked to Javi from Plasencia, and he goes, because I think he had it like 2 months ago, whatever. He goes, dude, Dr. Plasencia said you know you have it for sure if you can't smell. Then I go, dude, how do you notice?
Right.
He goes, open up a bottle of vinegar and smell. Dude, I couldn't smell shit. I mean, I couldn't smell anything. And so that happened to me for like 5 days, 6 days. I couldn't taste, scent, I mean, none of it. I never got a fever. Never at all fever. I got body aches for about 5 days, and I got cold sweats for like 2 nights, but never a fever. And then like about 7, 8, 9 days in, I started feeling normal again, and I felt normal for the last 7, 8 days. I went to get a test last Thursday, I think it was, and it still came back positive. That's after 15 days on quarantine, and I never left the house. And then yesterday, I went back again because I need to get back to the office, and was finally negative. So I'm excited about it. But let me tell you, it was bad just because I was still working, from the house, on the phone, making the phone calls, calling the guys, taking care of stuff that you need to take care of. But I do enjoy going into the office. But it was crazy for me that I was just more concerned of all the guys that I was hanging out with. I was with Luis Cuevas. I was with Pat Bush. I was with all these guys in the industry. And I'm like, I got to call. So I called every single one of them, and they all got tests, and they all came back negative. Thank God, knocked on wood. And let's go. I'm ready now to save lives. So on Tuesday at 4:30 in the afternoon, I'm giving plasma for COVID. So I'm excited about that.
It's like when you get an STD, you got to call everybody you were in contact with.
It's a long list. That's a long list, bro. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well, man. That's good to hear, and I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to get back to work.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been on the phones with the guys, but now I was telling Jim that I'm going up to Arizona, trying to help my guy out there in Arizona. I got a town hall meeting that I need to do in Atlanta this within the next 3 to 4 weeks.
What's a town hall meeting? Just
town hall is, when this thing happened, 4 or 5 months ago, we know we're talking about it. I like to bring it up just because I don't like to rehash all the, the BS. But there's some customers that obviously that we lost in some of the African American side of the cigar industry, and these guys are all friends, and I did one in Memphis. We had like 65 guys, and I explained to them, what happened was a huge mistake. And at the end of the day, they're not hurting the owner. They're hurting myself, my team, the guys that work for Gurkha at the end of the day. So I've been going around doing that, trying to, let people know that, we're here. It happened. It's gotten taken care of. And I know we want to get into that. And it was very simple. I'm going to just get into it and go and get over it with it. We have a group that's still looking to purchase the company, but as you know, they're not from here; they're from abroad, and all this traveling back and forth with COVID has been a pain in the ass. But we're still that's still being pursued. But what a lot of people don't understand is the following: is the fact that when Jim took over about 2.5, 3 years ago, we already had a team in place. All right, so I'm the VP of sales. You got Christina's in marketing. You got Carlos Yagatorano, ordering cigars and whatnot. You got Mauricio doing the same thing. So everybody was in place. Kay had literally just stepped away from the company, and this. He had stepped away from the company because he has this guy has like 100 million other companies, and that's what Kaizad does. He's an entrepreneur. And I thought that was the reason why Jim was brought in, so that he could step back away from it. That is correct. So we had everybody in place, and then this thing happened. And listen, it was a mess up. It was what it was. And now listen, we're moving forward. The company, as you can tell, we're going in a separate direction as far as now getting into the gist, which is the cigars. Is we're going to some great cigar makers that have great tobacco. We know who has the best tobaccos in Nicaragua: the Garcias, the Plasencias, the Organosa guys, AJ. So we know who these guys are. That's who we want to work with, and that's what we've been doing. And that's again going back to the success that we've had here in the last few offerings with Nicaragua series that everybody loves, and we cannot keep that thing in stock. And now the new San Miguel that just started shipping out about 3 weeks ago. Well, listen, I just want to say, I think it's awesome. I didn't even know you were still doing stuff like town hall meetings. And, yeah. I don't think it's something we need to dwell on, but I think the state of where the company is today, post that whole scenario, is important. But
unfortunately, look, I learned a lesson in from my AP English teacher in high school, and it stuck with me my whole life. And I don't know if you guys remember when Pope John Paul II got shot. It was after that when they started putting him around in the glass when they would do drives. Now he's in the glass box and stuff, but that's when that started. That's got to be like in
Popemobile.
Yeah, it's got to be roughly 1990, 1989, 88, 89, 90ish. And then there was a picture on Time magazine where the attempted assassin is on his knees and the Pope's forgiving him, right? And the lesson that our teacher taught us is it's amazing when you temper justice with mercy, right? So I've always kind of been a guy in life. Look, I don't think anybody's infallible. I've put my foot in my mouth. I've said shit, and sometimes it's not even the way I intended it. You just look, I made a joke. It wasn't even a joke. It was an accidental thing with my good friend Richie Otero, where he was here the other day. He has one of his eyes is a little off and whatever. I never even paid attention to it, and we were sticking labels on a box. And because we did an event with Eric Espinosa, so we had to take the cellophane off, and then he was signing them all, and then we're putting the micro blend seal back on the box. I'm taking my time. I'm doing it digitally, and he's like, "Abe, do you want some help?" And without even thinking, I said, "Well, you got a straight eye?" Bro, I mean, it was like I didn't even mean it, but I mean, there's an example sometimes. So, I mean, look, you're right. The company, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Wow, very cool.
I mean, he basically forgave the guy who tried to kill him. I mean, you have a company that's made up of more than one man, and whatever it was, it's an organic organization. And the fact that you guys are on the road still trying to do it, I don't think it's ingenuine at any level. So I hope people are receptive to it. And measures were taken. The owners stepped out of the picture, and you guys are doing good things. I mean, technically, we just got this cigar, and it's new. It's from Aganorsa, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Making this for you guys.
Yep.
It's selling off the shelves. Tell us a little bit about this blend real quick, just because
this is our third project with the Fernandez and Arganosa. Listen, man, these guys. Every time we go down there or we talk to Eduardo and Jim, it's like listen, this is what we want. We always say this, Abe. I always tell people we're tobacco merchants. We find people who make great cigars. We tell them what we want in a cigar because we're out there for a reason. We're out there to gather the information of what's selling in the marketplace and make it our own. And what better way to do it than going out there, getting the facts, getting the knowledge from the consumer, where they're doing, what they're smoking, and us making it our own and going to really great manufacturers. So this is our third edition with these guys. So. You got the Trenta, that Nicaragua series, just killed it, and then now the San Miguel. Which what I like about the whole thing about San Miguel is this is an old brand. So what Jim's doing, which is smart, he's been doing this for so many years, is we're bringing back some of the grandfathered in stuff and making them great. Really really great. We're keeping the packaging. Again, it goes back to we don't do the beauty beast packaging.
That's old school, man. That's old school.
That's old school mentality because you know what? At the end of the day, people don't smoke boxes; they smoke cigars. So we're concentrating on getting the quality of the cigar to be the best it could be at a fair price, and still keeping it, somewhat old school, sexy. It looks great, looks fantastic. Beautiful little box. It doesn't take a lot of space. It fits in every humidor, so you don't have to put like anchors and stuff so the boxes don't, the lids don't close because they're too heavy. So we're excited. The cigars got that beautiful Nicaraguan shade grown Corojo 99 that they're known for at Arganosa, with all Nicaraguan filler, all Arganosa tobacco with a double binder, which I know they're popular. They do that a lot, and we liked it when we did it with the Nicaraguan and the Trenta. And let me tell you, the cigars are medium body. For me, it's a medium body. It's got a little bit of nuttiness to it, little earthiness. It's pretty much for everyone. It's for the full body guys. I would recommend just to try, give it a go for the clear profile. But it's not gonna be a full body smoke. It's more of a medium body smoke. But like you were saying, Abe, we started shipping about 3 weeks ago, and brother, we can't keep it in stock, and it's a regular production product, which I like. I always tell people we leave all the limited edition stuff. It's great. I buy it myself from everybody else. I just don't think we're ready for limited edition. We need to, concrete have our distribution set within the stores, because I don't like growing distribution by adding more stores. I like growing distribution by adding more facings in stores that work. Because if you keep adding more stores, you start it gets watered down. So I rather grow my distribution inside your humidor instead of 10 facings. I want 15, 20 facings, but they have to make sense, because if they don't sell, you don't make any money. If it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And that's what the mentality is in the company, and that's what I've always thought of it. Even when I was ref for 15 years, that's always been my mentality: is growing your distribution in the store, not how many stores you have. It's how many great stores, good quality stores you work with, because we work together.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, you've all just witnessed the epitome of a seasoned sales veteran. Did he not just cover all the bases like in about 4 minutes? I mean, that is a seasoned sales veteran right there.
Well, you have this existing client base with customers who enjoy your brand, know your brand. It's a set. You don't have to sell them on your message. They know who you are. They know the type of quality that comes out of it. Why not try to grow that customer base, in the stores that know you? So it makes sense.
It does make sense, but also, I mean, because I'm just going to say it the way it is, I think the company's really changed its direction a lot in the last 2 or 3 years. Me, Juan, we're both straight up, so we won't, I think the company was really, for many, many years, slated as the packaging king of the industry. Not so much cigar-wise, but man, they made stuff that looked beautiful and people wanted and people would try. But in the last 2 years, they've gone to some great companies and they really started focusing just as much, if not less, on the packaging as the product inside. So that's kind of been a new spin in the last couple of years, 2-3 years.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we started doing that with little by little when we came out with the Cellar Reserve. It's still our number one selling cigar. The 15, the 18, the 12. They're nicely packaged. They're not extravagant. They're still really pretty. They look really nice on the shelves. They stand out.
Sure.
But they're not that beautiful. Piano finish. There's no really need for a lot of that stuff. It's all about the cigar. And again, I remember when I got to Gurkha 11 years ago, which I can't believe is going to be 11 years in January. I've been there already. I told Kaiser the same thing. I go, the one thing about so what do you? He goes, Juan, so what do you think about the brand? I go, I think Gurkha, you have museum pieces. He goes, what does that mean? I go, yeah, museum pieces. You know what it is? They sit there, they collect dust because no one could afford it. They're very expensive. They're $30, $40. And then when you go home, you buy it, you look at it, unless you're a collector, and you go, why the fuck did I spend that kind of money on this for? That was the mentality. So that's when we started changing the mentality of, okay, let's start doing the $20, $30 sticks, and let's stop selling Ferraris and start selling Mercedes and BMWs, because those sell a lot faster, and we got a bigger audience. And that's what we started doing. And then now going back to when Jim took over, that's again the same mentality of, let's make a better cigar. Let's keep the packaging still, attractive, sexy, good looking, but make the cigars the want people to come back and buy more. And that's the key, so. Well, look at fucking Ronnie. I tell you, like that guy.
So listen,
Ronnie.
I'm going to be a little over the map today, but today's Halloween. So what a better day to skip around. So tell us, how did baseball season treat you? I saw a little excited.
Yeah, man. So dude, I'm a Dodgers and a Red Sox fan. So the Red Sox fan. So I'm Cuban. I was raised in Jersey for 4 years, and my grandpa raised me with my mother and my grandma, and he was a Yankee fan. So he would always drive Yankees. And I got to the point that abuelo, F the Yankees. I'm going for the Red Sox. So I became a Red Sox fan like that. The Dodgers, if you're Cuban or Dominican, you have two teams, the Dodgers and the Yankees. And I went for the National League. I went to the Dodgers, and they had a lot of my favorite players. Growing up as a kid, I played baseball myself, and so it was a great, man. And I thought for a second there, man, when the kid Snell was throwing that. I mean, he was throwing BBs, and he was putting the ball where he needed to put. The biggest mistake they made is taking the guy out. That made no sense, but thank God they did, and now we're champions after 32 years. So yeah,
Big day for you, huh?
Huge, man. It was funny. I was just sitting around and going, and Bianca's like, "Why are you screaming? Can you calm down?" I'm like, 32 years in the making.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Paul, you're not really a baseball guy, are you?
Well, yeah.
You know, I worked in baseball for 7 years in minor league baseball. Before that, I was a huge baseball fan, big Yankees guy, and even, you know, working for a former Met for years, I became a Met fan. I used to go to games as a kid all the time. Since I left New York, I really don't watch baseball. I will go to a game any day of the week.
I mean,
I just can't
tell
sit and watch it.
You're clearly behind. You put up a picture of Dodgers NL West champions when they just won the World
Oh,
Series.
did I? Oh, you know what? I didn't even read
Be
it.
a little behind. The season is over.
I'm sorry. I knew they won the series. I watched some of the series, but I honestly thought it said World
He didn't
World
know where
Series
your
champions.
question was going. You just totally oblivious to it.
I didn't even see it. I was
Now,
trying to find something with a logo and with their win.
I heard a story, because we love stories, that you have an autographed hat. Juan?
Me?
Yeah.
Autograph hat?
You don't have an autographed hat?
From who?
Did I have some? Did I get some misinformation?
Autograph hat from who?
You have a signed baseball hat in your house? You don't have a signed baseball hat in your house?
Man, I have so many hats, and probably I got a lot of baseball signed. I got a lot of baseball cards.
I'm
I keep all
supposed
that
to
stuff.
ask you about a signed baseball hat in your house and who signed it, and you're supposed to tell us the story of how you got it.
Baseball hat? What? Mike Tyson?
Let me just clarify.
Hey, after
If
25
I'm
years in
asking
the
you about
industry,
a hat and there's a story that exists that has Mike Tyson in it, odds are
Yeah,
you
of course.
know what I'm talking about.
because listen, I had a Mike Tyson hat, and it's listen that my boy Ronnie gave me. You know Ronnie. You know Ronnie's always Ronnie, and he actually took me to.
Oh, it's a bat.
It's a bat. It's a bat. Thank you. It's a bat. Okay. Yes, I do. Okay. Yes, I have it. But wait, hold on. Now going back to Ronnie. So Ronnie.
Sorry,
took me,
it was a signed baseball bat. It was early.
It was. So Ronnie takes me to this Mike Tyson thing that he promoted, and Ronnie's he's like a brother of mine. We've known each other for a minute now, and I love his father, love his family, and you know, he stayed with me at the house whenever he comes down. And
I love
so
his dad. I can't stand Ronnie.
Well, you know, Ronnie in little drops. You know, an hour here, 10 minutes there, and then you do this, and then you start doing this.
His dad is my hero. I got to meet his dad.
Pops is the best, man. That old man, I love that old man. He's awesome, man.
He tells it like it is, for sure.
Absolutely, dude. And so does Ronnie. Ronnie don't give a shit, man. Ronnie's that guy. Listen, Ronnie's Gurkha. Either you like him or you hate him. But if you hate him, he don't give a shit.
No.
So it is what it is.
So tell us about the signed bat.
Dude, I'm again, Abe. I have to be reminded because I have a bunch of shit signed and bats, and I don't even know what story he's really talking about.
Supposedly, you beat him with it. You beat him up in the morning with it. You don't remember the story,
dude? He's so stupid. He's so stupid. It wasn't. I got the bat, and we're like hung over, and he comes out, and I hit him across the back, but soft, dude. Like I used to do that when my daughter's boyfriend would come to the house. I would send it with a bat, and they're like, "Oh, right. Mr. Lopez," and then yeah. So that's what
Ronnie Haysha, you're out as a source of news anymore because your story sucks.
I just, dude, or you know what? Or yeah, I don't. Or I really, I might not remember.
No offense to Ronnie, but he thinks his news is the big news. He's like, of course he has to remember this.
Oh,
listen, man, I got so many stories.
Now I gotta preempt this. Right? So, yeah, because first off, you say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can't because like Ronnie will send me a tirade of questions, text me to my phone in the middle of a broadcast, thinking like I'm looking at my texts during. And every week I text him. I said, "Why don't you send me this before the show starts?" So, of course, today he texts me and calls me at 9 a.m. Well, I call him because he texted me. And then goes on this historic, like, It was a life-changing, epic moment in his life. The story of this hat and the drinking and the hitting of the bat. And it's like, oh, this is going to be a great story.
And Juan doesn't even remember
I'm
it.
like, what?
Hey.
Who's Ronnie?
Wait, hold on.
Ronnie
Let me get my memory back. Hold on a second.
There you go. Well, he did tell me to get you to start drinking early. Maybe he was right on that.
No. I'm seeing my little one today later on, so no, I don't drink when I see my kids.
Okay, so speaking of the little ones, I'm going to tell you something. You know, anybody who knows any sliver of me knows that I'm a proud father. I love my 4 kids. They are my greatest accomplishment, my greatest work that I never ends. You know, you constantly are working. I'm preparing them for life and trying to make them the best human beings they can. And there are a few people that I always look to, and I admire their fatherhood, and you are one of them, my friend.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. Hey,
without a doubt. You
it.
Sometimes you inspire me. I love how you are with the girls. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I tried to copy you. I couldn't even do it. Right? You did something inspirational once, and I saw it. I said, dude, that's like the most baddest ass thing I've ever seen. So I went back home and I tried to do it with my 3 girls. Never happened. But you have like a specific handshake with all your girls.
I do. Every single one of them.
And when I say handshake, if anybody hasn't seen these videos, this isn't like, hey, nice to meet you. This is like foot kicks, everything. And it's like a sequence of events. It's like it's a show.
And it's funny because I have it with all three of them. We all have different handshake. They all 3 played volleyball and soccer. So that's where it came from, you know. So the funny thing, I was always be the first dad there to, you know, warm them up, stretch them out, and then before we start, we start the handshake. And so it started from like just, you know, a few of this, and then we kept adding on, and it got longer and longer. And then the crazy part is that we do it in one take. And now mind you, I've been divorced for 7.5 years. And I don't get to see my girls every day, or even my little one every day. I see her on the weekends and every other weekend, or if I'm traveling, a little bit less. But funny enough, when we are at volleyball or we're anywhere, it's like, hey, Pops, handshake.
Do you ever mix up the shakes?
One take.
You ever mix up the shakes? Oh, wait, wrong daughter.
No, because you know what? It's how you start. It's how you start and how you finish.
Right.
So once you do the first start, and you know, like, For Angelina, it's like a double. For Sabrina, it's like boom, boom, boom. For Liana, something else. And then Liana is like the finishing with like shaking of the leg. With Angie, we started adding. We finished with this, and then this year we added the Ronaldo. I mean, we keep adding to it. So hey, listen, it's fun, and they never forget that. And going to what Abe said, thank you for what he said. Those are kind words. And it's funny because my dad passed when I was 3 years old. My mom never remarried, and you know, it's anyone could be a father. Not everyone could be a dad. So I've always said that. And you know what? That's the 2 things. Dads are the guys that are always there for their kids. Don't miss the important things, and always be a great provider. And most importantly, always be a great listener, because they want to talk to you. And if you don't listen to them, and if you don't listen to them, that's when you start losing them. And I did that for a little bit with my oldest one, but I learned from that. And then I started listening to my other 2. And, you know, you know what? And the funny thing, Abe, you love this. You know what I tell them? I go, ladies, remember something. You ladies are only practice. I'm going to be the best grandfather in the world. So I tell them that all the time. Yeah, they're like, Dad, you're the best. Dad, you're the best. No, I'm the best. Yeah, no, because you know what? You know, when you get the call, right? The call is, hey, Daddy. You know what that means? I always say, you see this? It's not a booger. It's called cash money.
I always say my name isn't ABE. It's ATM.
Yeah. Amen.
I'm not there yet. They don't ask for money yet.
Boys won't be as bad. Wait till boys won't be as bad. The girls.
Dude, I never had a chance to go, remind you. So 24, 21, and 15. So my 21-year-old is about to graduate from American Catholic University in DC. My 24, thank you. My 24-year-old graduated from UF, works for a software company in New York City, loving life. And then I got my little one that just started Lourdes Academy here in Miami as a freshman. So I got 4 more years of that.
Wow.
And then that, because you know, it's there's a saying. that I've learned this is from 14, 15 to about 17, 18, you lose them a little bit. You lose them. And then it becomes this because, what are you doing at that time? They're in high school. And you're like, this guy's a jerk. Give yourself worth. Give yourself respect. Make sure they respect. Oh, Dad, not every guy's like you were in high school and college, right? So they go away to school. First or second semester, freshman year, I get the phone call. Hey, Dad, you were right. I go, you're right. Guys are all assholes. I go, what the fuck do I know? I was that guy.
That's how you look at it as a dad. I mean, look, I was one of the nicer guys, right? But when I look at the crap I was trying to pull in high school, I wouldn't want my daughter to date me.
Oh, dude, you kidding me?
And we weren't the scumbags. We were just, horny teenagers.
Yeah, I was one of those idiot guys, and it was funny because I remember every year I had drama class, Mr. Bishop as my fifth period. Because I got the automatic A because I would host like the Eagles Flint talent show and all that shit for him, and I get an extra lunch to meet my second girlfriend in the parking lot. So the good old days. It really
was a great place to meet girls. Actually, people would give you a hard time about doing drama club, but
are you kidding me?
If you look like this and you can get girls, I mean, it obviously is a good spot.
Oh, he's not kidding. When in my junior year, I went to Notre Dame, which was an all boys high school in Niles, Illinois. So, I'm in high school for 4 years with all boys, which is kind of all right because you never have to worry about shit. You go, you don't care what you look like, you go to class. It made for a little bit of a less stressed environment of having to worry about girls and stuff during school. But I did a play. I did a worse play. I did a musical. I had to sing. I had the comedic lead, and now we're going to date our audience to see how old people are. But it was the Pajama Game. So,
I know it.
Yep. Well, you would, Mr. Broadway.
I mean, I'm in theater, yeah.
I played Prez. I had to sing 7.5 cents in that whole spiel. But it was like me and 2 other dudes, and one was gay, and 50 girls at an all-girl school. It was awesome. It's the best move I ever made.
You guys, I can't believe it. Yeah, you couldn't contain yourself.
That was what, and all the guys, I was one of those weird guys growing up. Like, I was a starter on our football team, right? So I had this jock thing, but I also was in the games club and I played Dungeons and Dragons with those guys. And, then I'll go to a girls' school because I just didn't give a fuck. I did what I wanted, and I think that's just what made me unique at the time. So for me to go do a musical at all girls' school, imagine the heat I took, bro. I was making fun of those guys for the rest of the year. You're missing out. This was like the best time ever.
Absolutely. So, you're invited to every single party after that,
bro.
Every single party.
And you know what? And you know what's funny is you make all these girls that are friends, and then they admire you for being brave enough and coming to. And then when one broke up with you, or you broke up with one, the other one just slid right in.
Yeah,
they were just in line waiting.
Are you okay, Abe?
That is true. That is such a true story. It's funny because I went to public school. And the running joke is like I never went out with a lot of public school girls. It was always private school girls. My ex-wife went to Lourdes, where my girls go. It's an all-girls school here in Miami, and so on and so on. I always went out with the private school girls. It was just it's different. And for them it was because those guys that they see all the time, or they don't the Belen Columbus guys, all pretty sharp guys, but they have high IQ but low EQ. So you get that you put in the EQ, and I come in and I just run circles around them for a minute. Before you know it, I'm dating all 3 of their friends, and they don't even know about it, which is a great part.
But
so it made it fun.
I think it's more of a logistic thing because when you go to the public school girls, they already have their network of boys that are around them all day that they work with. When you go to the Catholic school girls, they're not exposed to anybody.
And so, you're new. No, you're fresh. You're new.
You're like raw meat dumped in a piranha tank. Yeah. So yeah, I was pretty ingenious when it came to that when I was in school because I just intensely listen. I wasn't the good looking guy ever in the room. I just knew how to increase my odds.
Yeah, the more women, more women, less men, the better, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Or Abe, knowing you since you're witty, you probably made them laugh too. So that's key. When you made the girls laugh, they love that shit.
I did have the comedic lead, yes. I did.
I would assume that's how you won over Brandy too. You're
without a
wit.
doubt, we all
Oh,
know
hands down.
without a doubt, dude. That's like
I mean,
no-brainer.
my wife is gorgeous today, still hot as hell. But I met her when she was 19. 18.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. We started dating.
Oh, look, did you hear that? Oh yeah. The Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah.
Before anybody thinks I'm a perv, I was 26, so it wasn't like the end of the world. But we didn't date.
Right.
We stayed friends, and we didn't date till she was 24. So she was like in her prime. She was like, she was a lioness at that time. But yeah, it took me 4 years to convince her to date me. No, not yet to date me. Yeah, 4 years.
There you go. The rest is history, man. That's
The rest
awesome.
is
That's
history.
fantastic.
For a woman,
I like when I go places. And people are like, "What the hell is that woman doing with that guy?" That just means I'm doing something right.
No, because it throws them off because you show no signs of having a lot of money either, so they're just confused. See, that's a statement normally made when a guy pulls up in a Ferrari and he's got a $50,000 watch on and he walks out. But see, when you do it, they see no signs of that, so they're just confused.
It's just the glowing personality that she loves.
No, or the thing, yeah, for sure he went IPO.
She saw the potential when we started dating, and now after 3 years, she's like, "Wait, where the hell's all this money I thought this guy was gonna make?"
No, and where's the potential? No.
Right?
Busting, Paul. Busting. That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, as a new father, like Abe is definitely a guy that I look up to and I ask advice from. So hearing him, I've met you a few times, Juan, but hearing Abe say that to you is a huge deal because he's a great dad.
It's a huge deal for me. He's amazing, and dude, he is with his daughters and the little man, dude, that guy.
He's got a personality.
That guy's not gonna have any issues.
Listen,
The only issue is gonna be this: which one of the daughter's friends he's gonna hook up with first.
Right.
listen, I worry about him more than I worry about the girls. I'm not kidding you, man.
Absolutely, you should.
Maybe the younger one. The younger one makes me a little bit nervous because of her judgment making so far. But he's going to have the privilege of 3 of his sisters with their friends at the house, in the pool, and the baby. Oh yeah, he makes me worried. I got to keep him humble.
Oh yeah.
With as close as our sons are, I feel like my kid's going to reap the benefits of your daughter's friends as well.
Of course,
Without a doubt.
Of course, he will.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
It was funny. This morning when he woke up, the first thing he said out of his mouth was Asher. He knows he's going over there today.
Oh yeah, man. They're blood brothers, those two. They're bonded, man.
That's fantastic.
Every time he calls me his best bud, and he goes, and then Carmine. That's what he said. Dad, you're my best bud, and then Carmine.
That's awesome. I love that name, Carmine, by the way. Pretty cool.
Yeah. But no.
We went from cigars to fatherhood to making fun of Paul again. No.
Yeah, it always doubles back to Paul, though.
Always, every time.
Paul's like the Monopoly, past 200. When you pass go, you always back to it eventually.
We got to come back to it. Juan, I want to ask you.
And then you always down on the railroads, and that's Paul. He's part of the railroad system.
Right?
I'm the connecting tracks.
I love it.
Did you want?
I want to ask you about something. Yeah, I want to ask you about something. We want to talk about. We have a break coming up soon, so we want to talk about Gurkha in 2021 and moving forward and what's to come. But before we get to that, speaking about the social aspect of our lives, and you showed us the Johnny Black. So our producer took some notes when she spoke with you, and one of the things that kind of threw me off, and Abe, maybe you've seen this more than I have, but you're recommending Johnny Black with a splash of coconut water?
Okay, so what I told her was this.
Is this a Miami thing?
No. I'm at Cigar Doll. Cigar Doll? Yeah, Cigar House in Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Rita's place, right? And she has a bar in the back of the store. And all I keep seeing is this bartender, pouring Johnny Black. They drink a lot of Johnny Black in Puerto Rico, and they're pouring Johnny Black and then putting a splash of coconut water. And I'm like, what is this? So I asked Rita, I asked her sons, and she's like, oh, that's in Puerto Rico, that's how we drink it, and it's great because the ladies, the coconut water takes the edge off. So what I told the producer was, I tried it. You gotta try it because you know what? When you're with a lady and you know, I don't like whiskey. You're at the bar. You say, don't knock it. Don't judge it. Just try it first. And you go with a special coconut water. They try it. It takes that little bit of that edge off, and it tastes great. Mind you, I don't drink it that way, but that's how they drank it in Puerto Rico. And I thought it was genius because instead of buying 10 drinks, you buy 2 drinks, and then you're your way, right?
You've never only had 2 drinks in your whole life.
No, I'm talking about the ladies instead of.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Come on, there you go.
I'm googling it. I'm finding stuff like this. Apparently, it's a big. I've been to Puerto Rico maybe 4 or 5 times in my life. I've never seen that drink before. That's pretty cool. And we used to go when I was younger because you could drink at 18 there. That was one of the benefits of going.
And I saw it, Paul, and I saw it there. I saw it at Rita's place, and I tried. I mean, mind you, I don't drink it like that. I drink everything rocks, or depending on what I'm drinking straight. But yeah, it's good. Ladies love it. My daughters when I have a drink with them, if I have the coconut water, I'll have them try it. They'll I mean, they're not huge fans, but they'll try it. And dude, I just think that again, it's you when you travel, you find out about all these different cultures of people, how they drink stuff. And I thought that was a pretty cool way to drink a scotch, which I would never put anything on mine. It's just like people tell me about it. Do you smoke infused cigars? I go, listen, man, I infuse myself. I smoke cigars. I drink what I want to drink, and then I smoke a cigar without infusion. No acid, no Grand Reserve that we make. I'm not into that. I like tobacco. I like tobacco and the different flavors tobacco brings to the table with whatever I'm drinking at that day. So,
all right. Well, we have to take a break.
Big Puerto Rican thing. Oh, we got a break.
Yep. Good time.
We got to take a break. Hey, we're just taking one break or two, or the two.
We can do both. Run through.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this with Juan Lopez of Gurkha Cigars. Keep it lit.
Battle of the Bands.
Oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage coming to you live from the Drew Estate Experience Acid Studios. Oh yeah, look what I got here. I got the championship belt like I told you I was gonna get, President Jack Tunney. What do you got to say? Oh yeah, it was the Battle of the Bands. I went head to head in a cage match with the best of the best. Mr. Tiki Torch Man himself, Brian Glenn, went down. Dojo went down. Coop, oh yeah, Coop went down. Developing Palates, and the blind man himself tried to make a run for the Macho Man at the end, but it wasn't good enough, was it, blind man? Oh yeah, Macho Man wants to thank some people. Oh, the fine folks at Drew Estate Cigars for always supporting the Macho Man. The people at Padron. Oh yeah, John Huber. Crownhead Cigars, thank you so much, brother. Alec Bradley. Oh, I couldn't have done it without you. And Steve Saka. Steve Saka said the Macho Man couldn't win. What you think about this, Mr. Steve Saka? I told you, the cream always rises to the top. Who's gonna take this belt from me? 2021 Battle of the Bands is coming up soon. Do you think you got what it takes to beat the Macho Man? You think you can take this belt from me? Well, it is on, because I am going to come back and defend my title. Oh, yeah. So thank you to Abe DeBabna. Smoke in. We're going to see you again. 2021. Gonna defend my title. Oh, yeah.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Elmer Suárez, de La Flor de Copán, en Honduras.
My name is Ernesto Kranwinkel and I'm from La Romana, Dominican Republic.
Hola, mi nombre es Diana, soy de Manizales, Colombia.
Díaz, Freddy Molina desde Estelí, Nicaragua. Hola amigos, saludos a todos. María Santis, orgullosa de ser puertorriqueña.
Cheers. I'm Oliver. I'm from London, England.
I love H. Upmann Añejo.
My favorite H. Upmann Dominican cigar is the H. Upmann Banker.
My favorite H. Upmann cigar is the Hermannsbach.
Favorite H. Upmann is the H. Upmann by AJ Fernandez.
Mi cigarro favorito es H. Upmann Española.
I highly recommend you try the H. Upmann 175th anniversary, awarded number 10 cigar of 2019.
One world together with H. Upmann.
Surgeon General warning: cigars are not a safe alternative to cigarettes.
All right, we're back.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 of KMA Talk Radio, episode number 397, with our good friend and Vice President of Sales of Gurkha Cigars, Juan Lopez. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Abe? Good time so far with you guys, man. You guys are awesome, man. I love coming on this show. I listen to it every Saturday, and you guys have great guests, just great topics, and you know what? And I like it when it goes off the topic and it just becomes a chit chat with friends and about life, and it's pretty cool. So I love that.
Well, I mean, we've always said that our goal of the show is to emulate conversations that you'd have in a cigar lounge. That's what we want to do. We want to emulate stuff that we would talk about if you were here sitting in the lounge and we'd be chatting. You know, Alan Rubin seems to be upset because we know more about Paul's life than about cigars. He made a comment earlier, but maybe we stopped watching 1,000 podcasts. We could talk about his life a little bit.
Right.
Not the real Alan.
Not the real Alan.
No. No, the Fugazi Alan Rubin.
Not the real Alan Rubin. That's awesome.
No, Fugazi Alan Rubin.
I have a question, kind of off topic, but in the news topic. We all saw that, or most of us, I'm sure, saw, some might be hearing for the first time, that Sean Connery passed away. So my question, Paul, how old are you?
I am 37.
All right, so you're younger than I am. Abe, you're mid-60s. Juan, you're a little older than I am. Who is your bond? I'm 38. My bond is Pierce Brosnan.
Mine too.
Yeah, that's your bond, right?
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore's your bond?
You know, it's funny because as a young child, I preferred Roger Moore over Sean Connery, right? I mean, I think historically, Sean Connery is the quintessential Bond.
I agree, 100%.
When you look at it as an adult, he's the factual quintessential Bond. But as a young man, I preferred Roger Moore over Sean Connery.
Yeah, because we grew up with Roger Moore.
Right.
He was our Bond.
I fell in love with Pierce Brosnan as Remington Steele. And he was supposed to be the next Bond before Timothy Dalton. So I don't know if any of you guys remember, but there were some new Coke or Diet Coke commercials that had Pierce Brosnan almost in a Bond-esque scene in a bar, and Ninja starts flying, because he was supposed to be the next Bond because Remington Steele was coming to an end, or then they ended up doing the season or something. He couldn't get out of his contract, and then he went to Timothy Dalton, and that crushed me. So when Pierce Brosnan became Bond, I was all like elated and thrilled. But yeah, I mean,
he played the part great. But I mean, I grew up with Roger Moore. Always admired the Sean Connery, because he is. When you say James Bond, I mean, that's Sean Connery is, the original. I mean, just everything about him says James Bond, right? Quintessential is correct. But I mean, to me, Roger Moore, because I grew up with that guy. I would go as a kid to watch all the movies, all the 007 movies are with him in it, and that's my dude.
Hey, if you're listening, post in the chat. I'm curious, who is your Bond?
So, Paul, you're with me. Brosnan is your Bond?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's just because of our age. Like, that's who I remember as Bond. I mean, I've seen all the old ones as well. They're great, but I don't know. It's just instilled in my mind that Pierce. The other problem for Pierce Brosnan is that every time I see him in any other movie, I can only see him. It's that actor's issue. I can only see him as Bond. I saw in Mrs. Doubtfire. It ruins it for me because I'm like, why is 007 there?
Well, it's like now Robert De Niro being grandpa movies, funny as shit movies about him being a grandpa. mean, what happened to the gangster? You know?
Because listen, man, he did all these movies for no money back in the day. He had to make some cash, man. $20 million for those movies each.
Yeah, no, hey, Tribeca Films makes no money. Yeah, okay. He's
Well,
the owner of
now
that.
it does.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he's okay. You know, it goes back to this. Who's your favorite Batman? Meaning in the movies. For me, will always be the guy, the funny guy from Night Shift.
Michael Keaton now, dude.
Michael Keaton.
Christian Bale stole the Batman part.
No, I did not like Christian Bale.
Who's your favorite Batman?
I like Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought he was great.
To me, it's a Christian Bale. It's a different kind of Batman. Michael Keaton was still the comic book Batman.
Michael Keaton was like the Batman series Batman more.
He's like what Batman was supposed to be. You know, Michael Keaton still had a comic book feel to it.
And he invented that voice. That Batman voice when he first started, I'm Batman. You know, that every other Batman's trying to copy. There's only one that sounds like that is Michael Keaton, dude. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love that movie. I love that movie. I mean, I remember being in the theater when it came out, and I remember the first opening scene, and everybody started clapping. Like they were like so pumped up when that movie came out, and I liked it. And by far, even though I love other renditions, Jack Nicholson's rendition of the Joker is epic, right?
I think he's the Joker for me too.
It's epic, but you know, Batman's one of those. Look, Superman's Superman, right? It's hard to slice Superman in a couple different directions. I mean, I think it tried with Man of Steel a little bit, where he's a little bit more, you know, tormented and whatnot. But Superman. But Batman's one of those characters in the DC universe that really has two completely different personas, and you know, you either like the really Dark Knight version of him or the original. You know, and I tend to enjoy the Dark Knight version better.
Wow, Brian Gramowski just said Val Kilmer and Bale. Val Kilmer, the one.
Wow,
now,
Val Kilmer.
I think he gets a bad rap for that movie. I think it was pretty good. I am a Val Kilmer fan. Him in Real Genius was like that was
Val Kilmer in all his movies, in The Saint, and
The Saints, dude, The Saint, that movie. I seen that movie 100 times.
Tombstone, yes.
Tombstone.
He's always a great performer. I don't know what happened to him physically because I don't know if you've seen a picture of him lately.
He doesn't even look like him. Yeah,
man, but whatever.
The same thing that happens to all of us. What do you mean?
No, he doesn't even look like Val Kilmer anymore.
No, because that's way too much Botox, Val Kilmer.
Right, he's got that Mickey Rourke thing going on.
Yeah,
another one. Hold on, I'm grabbing a picture now. He does. Mickey Rourke is actually a really good analogy, Alex, because you're right. He's got that like too much plastic surgery.
What happened to somebody? The lady from Top Gun, Tom Cruise's girl, whatever. Top Gun. Kelly McGillis. Back then to like now in Key West. Oh my God.
Wow. Right.
Oh my God. Dude.
Hey, I got news for you. That's a good picture of him.
Well, because you can't see how big he is either. He got pretty big.
That's a good picture of him. I'm telling you.
You're right.
That's a good picture of him.
Yeah.
Wait, so since we're speaking of superheroes and costumes and uniforms and all that stuff, do you want to show your Abe? Abe has been sending me some of his Halloween costumes.
Juan, do you dress up for Halloween?
Sometimes it all depends. I mean, lately I've if I don't get to see my girls because they're doing their own party things, I just sit outside, bottle of scotch. This year I'm wearing gloves and I'm wearing the mask. I'm not expecting a lot of kids, but I'm gonna still sit outside and drink. And if they come, they're gonna get the candy. I'm gonna wear gloves. But sometimes I do when I do like the parties and stuff. I definitely put on costumes on, but I'm not a huge Halloween guy, man. I've never really been, except for when I was a kid. Going back to what I was saying about getting in the 1984 Astro van with and going to Extra back then in Miami and buying 500 eggs with like 6 of my boys. And I know, and we're all dressed as the Baseball Fury.
The Baseball Fury.
So we will get out of the van, like 5 of us, dressed as Baseball Fury. They're assholes. They're just assholes.
That's what it was about when I was younger too. It was about causing a ruckus.
That and toilet paper, the houses. Remember? They don't do that anymore. Toilet paper in homes are awesome, dude.
Thank God, because as an adult, I'd be so pissed.
Right.
Last year, Alex and I just pulled up lawn chairs, sat in our driveway with a bucket of candy, and smoked cigars as kids were walking by. What did I say that one kid? Is that a real cigar? I'm like, take your candy and move along, kid. I said something to him. Is that a real cigar? I'm like, take your candy and move along.
Well, hey, the last time I was on the show, you took that picture from my Facebook that I had that cutout of the Game of Thrones thing, and I was drinking scotch and smoking cigars. And it's funny because what would happen? Here come the parents and dads. Oh, you smoke cigars? And I'm like, well, there's a shop down the street you could buy it from. And I started explaining what it was. Yeah. I was like promoting the brand and promoting the stores. And yeah, man, I do it every year like that. It's a lot funner for me now just to sit there, see the little kids, reminisce about when my kids were little, than going out and getting stupid. Because I know tonight is one of those rookie nights. You don't go out Halloween. There's too many people drinking, too many stupid people out there. No need. Damn, it's coming down. Holy shit. Anyway.
So you can pop up, Paul. These are some of my epic costumes that I found during the break real quick.
All right, so here's one.
Jesus. Yeah, that's 2002 at least.
No, that's 2014 or no, maybe
14. Damn.
No, I really young.
Is that Pete Johnson?
Yeah,
that's Pete Johnson, dude. Yeah.
Look how young they both look.
Right.
Now I'll tell you a funny story about it. Obviously, I'm being the guy from
Hangover.
The Hangover, right? So I'm a little messed up there because I've been sweating and doing an event, and but when I disappeared in the back room, nobody knew who I was. Then my wife put the wig on and the beard nicely. I come out with the baby and I start interacting with people, and I'm out there for at least 40 minutes, and I'm thinking everybody knows who I am, and people just started saying, "Where's Abe? This event's been going on." Nobody actually knew who I was when I came out with that. That's how much the hair and the beard threw them off. That was funny.
That's awesome.
That was a funny event.
Right. But they all knew Carlos, though. They all knew Carlos.
Yeah, that was
That's from the story earlier.
Yeah, that was the story.
Wow, dude, that's next level shit.
How
long did that take, though? I mean, that took a few hours.
I had to sit in a makeup chair for about an hour and a half, I think.
Wow. Holy shit, dude. That's badass. I like that.
And of course, that's after I've been sweating. That's what I was going to do today that my wife did. That is not a cartoon. That is a photograph of me.
That is crazy. Look how thin you look. You should do that every day anyway. It's very slimming.
I was slimmer then, dumbass.
This is your next Halloween costume. Rocco's Modern Life, the boss. I could see he always has a cigar in his mouth. I couldn't find a picture of him with a cigar.
That's funny. That's awesome.
I'm fired now.
You got fired a couple weeks ago.
That's true. I still like mine. I think I have a good Halloween costume this year.
That's funny, man.
I look just like him.
The funny thing is, you didn't even need any makeup for the mouth. It looks perfect.
I just chugged a lot of coffee this morning to yellow my teeth a little bit more.
That's great.
So, Juan,
yes, sir.
Let's talk about Gurkha 2021, man. What do you guys got?
Man, right now, the
you mentioned earlier in the break. You mentioned earlier in the show, and I kind of let it glaze over because I wanted to have a chance to get in depth to talk about it. I really wasn't aware that it was public information that Gurkha was being looked at to be acquired.
Oh yeah, no, it's been. I mean, when we did,
I knew about it. I heard about it. But there was a press release. I know Coop's on. We're going to bring him a little bit.
There was always because man, when it got bad there for like a few months, it was literally these guys were coming hard. And listen, and I love Kaiser. Kaiser is a friend of mine, still a friend of mine. Always be a friend of mine. He's like a brother to me, and I love the guy. And in saying so, he knew that by him stepping down and what he did was helping the rest of the company because he's that guy. He's not selfish. He's not a selfish person. He's about everybody else. Because I've always told Kaiser, dude, you don't need to have 25, 30, 40 employees here. You can just sell to Cigar International, make a lot of money and sit at home. But he loves the fact that he's got people that he takes care of as a family, and he's a family man. And listen, man, what happened happened. And but yeah, it's been in the works, and he understands it. He comprehends it. Listen, he's got so many ventures that he does. He's got his hands so many things that when like I said earlier, when Jim came in and you know, Jim's an organizer. That's what Jim does. Jim's an organizer. I go out there, hustle with my boys and do it, and my ladies, and do what we need to do, right? And then you got, you know, guys in the factories that do their thing. So it goes back to, it was something that was brought to the table that we need to do, because we were getting, you know, from this side pulling, everybody's tugging at both sides, and at the end of the day, it made sense to do so. Now, what people don't understand is that KO had already stepped away from the company. It's pretty much Jim and the management team running Gurkha. I mean, K had literally stepped away. He'll have his opinion on packaging here and there, but as far as like every day, he would never come to the office. I mean, maybe twice a week. You know, he hasn't been in the office forever now, but he wasn't as involved because he's doing other things and other ventures, and that's what he does, man. He's that guy. So, but yeah, it's been out there, man. We've had, listen, a lot of guys throw their names in the hat, and then they realize what it really takes to get to where we need to be, and because it's not a low number, and I'm not going to say the number, but it's not a low number, and it's a number that makes sense to him and the company, and again we move forward. Like, so going back, so now let's talk about 2021. All right, so I think I answered that question, right, Abe?
Yep.
You good with that?
Yeah.
2021 for us. 2021 is this. 2021 is just going back to the roots. Roots. I mean, we really haven't had the opportunity this year to really go out and educate our customers on our new offerings. Give you an example. Every year for the last, I've been there 11 years. I've been in charge now 9 years of the sales. Every year we average anywhere from 400 to 500 events a year. This year we've done 32. So if you don't educate the customer base and those guys who are not even maybe Gurkha smokers, and you don't get to get the cigars in their hand, their mouth, and have them try it, you're never going to get them to become a regular customer, repeat customer. So our focus, my focus is, and my team's focus is the next 2 quarters after the fourth quarter, for our first and second quarter, is hopefully things go back to somewhat normal. Still be responsible, but again, going out there and educating the customers on the Nicaragua again, on the Treinta, on the San Miguel, which is fantastic. We also have a bargain brand called the Castle Hall that we're doing at a Nicaraguan Dominican that's in the $4 to $5 price range, that there is a sweet spot there for some people. So that's our plan. Our plan, especially the first few quarters, is just to go back out there, shake hands, put cigars in people's hands, light them up, educate. I don't preach, I teach. Let's go.
I don't preach, I teach. I like it.
Absolutely.
So does I'm just curious, and I know you're honest as well. I'll ask this question because otherwise I know I get a load of shit. Does the imminent sale of the company affect how strategized you plan on being in 2021?
Man, you know what? All we do is this. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And our sales have been always going up for the last 9 years. Okay, 5, 10, 20, whatever it may be, it's still going up. When it gets flat, which flattened a little bit, and then this thing went somewhat away, it's going back up again. Now we're back up again. So our strategy is this. Listen, we are here. We have one common goal: is to make the company successful. And if the company's not successful, no one's going to want to buy it. No one's going to even look at it. So we need to stay the course and continue to do what we do, which is hit the streets, educate the customer, just keep educating customers about the product, because there's a lot of confusion out there with the online, with the brick and mortar. You guys know I'm a huge brick and mortar guy. Never been a big online guy. Some of these guys don't even like me online, if you know who I'm talking about, and I'm not going to get into that one because I'm not going to.
You know, as a retailer and a guy who's got an online presence, right?
Yeah, but you're a little bit different. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I know. But look, I just want to clarify, right? Because look, what people have to realize, because I love when all these guys start chiming in about not buying things online, right? You have to realize the country's a big country. And there's only about 2,500 legitimate, like, quality cigar shops, if that, in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many areas in the country where guys can't get good stuff. So the existence of online retailers, it's got to be there. if guys around the country really want to have access to product and a lot of decent product. So I've never, even before we were big online, I remember sitting around and people used to talk crap about Lou Rothman and how they couldn't stand him, and I'm like, I never understood that, because I'd just rather look and see what I could learn from the guy. You can't take guys like that out of the equation, but you can learn from them and implement it, change it, make it better, do things better. So I was never opposed to anybody who sold product to any of the big box stores or discount stores, they call them. But we didn't work with people who didn't want to protect their brand, right? So if you just wanted to sell it to anybody, they could sell it out of their garages for $5 over cost or whatever. Those are brands you can't really support as a brick and mortar. But as long as people follow what the guidelines that the guys who make the brands want, I never cared if any if they you could sell it to anybody they wanted to, as long as they kept the parameters. But you guys have really been trying to make now brick and mortar stuff. See, and that's funny because in my position, when a company calls me, well, this is brick and mortar only, I hate hearing that.
I know we've had this conversation.
Right. I like hearing that, and that bothers me when they say that to me, because I look to get the product into as many people's hands who want it. So when you tell me something is brick and mortar, you just chop me at the knees of being able to get this out to a lot of our friends and patrons who don't live by one of our brick and mortar stores. So so that model's never worked for me. We've had a couple cigar, but honestly, and maybe you could help me, but I don't know of anybody who's attempted that. We're going to make this brick and mortar only that's really succeeded well.
Well, I think I agree with you. And now in saying so, if you are able to control the parameter of the price points that you're putting on brick and mortar, meaning I know that if I go to Abe, if I go to some of our partners, and we tell them, hey, listen, you need to not charge less than 15%, 20%, whatever it may be, and you keep it there, we work with you, all right? And that's fine. That's fine and dandy, okay? Now, the problem is you got some of these guys that do the one-day deal, 50% off, and guess who gets the phone calls? This guy right here. So I got to deal with that. And you know what? That's what pisses me off. And then, you have to reach out with these people for 20-some years. And then you got to make the phone call, because you have to make the phone call. That's what you pay you for, to tell them, hey, listen, if you're not going to follow our guidelines, we're not going to send you brick and mortar product, because although it's brick and mortar, what we mean by brick and mortar for us, especially that we're heavy on the internet, years past, meaning that you stay within reason of, if you would sell it at the shop at 15% off, if you're doing 20% off, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to bitch. I'm not going to call you, hey, come on, man, bring it up 5. Now, if you're doing 35, 40%, I don't think that's a fair fight. But again, it goes back to this. Hey, man, I know you're probably thinking, hey, Juani, if I'm paying you the same amount of money, it's up to me how much money I want to make on the box. If it's $5, $10, $20, but if you're telling me and you have the guidelines of, hey, man, please stay within the guidelines of this. If you want to give an extra 5, because let's say Matt lives in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, and he has no brick and mortar store, he wants to buy from me, and another 5% is not going to hurt you. But now, if you give 20% off extra, then it hurts everybody. It hurts everybody. That's the way I feel about the whole. So when I say brick and mortar, I mean it's brick and mortar without being strictly brick and mortar. You can still put it online, but respect the guidelines that we set forth, so everybody has a fair chance to make money on it and not whore the product out, which is, at the end of the day, that's what we don't want.
And sometimes the consumers don't understand why that's not good for a brand. In their mind, they just want the best price they can, which we all do. Right. But it ruins brand. So if you like the brand,
well, because it goes back to the confusing the customer. Because the customer sees a Gurkha online for $3.50, and then they go to your store and they see a San Miguel at $10. They're gonna go, how come you're charging me $7 more than if I will buy it online? But they're not buying the same product. But in their head, they're buying a Gurkha. So that's where the confusion lies within the customers.
That was the biggest issue. Many years, because
I know.
You couldn't tell from the packaging or whatever, and that's why even when you look at the San Miguel packaging, it distinctively stands out from anything you guys make.
Absolutely right. Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to help the differentiation in the consumer eyes.
I think so too, my brother.
So, We have Coupon. It's that time.
Yeah, Coop is right here. There he is.
The library.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on,
I don't
Coop?
know. Is it me?
Hey,
Coop?
Juan.
I
Hey,
feel
Alex.
like we haven't talked in like
Good.
months,
It's been strange, isn't it?
right? I don't know why. Is it me? I just feel like you and I haven't talked. I mean, usually we're at least once a week chatting about something.
Yeah. It's just I know I've been kind of busy
Yeah.
outside the cigar world the last couple weeks. That may have a lot to do with that.
How's everything going?
It's going well. It's going well. I've actually been getting out a little more lately. I think I was mentioning last week, and I'm still planning on trying to get down to Florida before Thanksgiving. So,
Well-
knock on wood, hopefully that happens.
We look forward to that. Now, I'm assuming that you're not a Halloween dress-up kind of guy.
No, I'm not.
He's not a Halloween guy.
Absolutely not. And I'm in that phase now.
Even when your kids were young and growing up.
Yeah, what about when they were little?
No, I never was the one who got dressed up. No.
I can just see Coopers with his kids. Daddy, what are you going to do for Halloween? I don't do teasers.
You know.
I'm with you.
No, I mean, someone had to give the candy out, right? So that would kind of be my job. It's interesting now because, like, Abe, the moms dress up for Halloween a lot more than they did when I was a kid.
I like when moms dress up.
That's always the highlight. Yeah, I mean, that's the highlight. But like we were talking about this like around here, and I'm like, the moms never dressed up for Halloween when I was a kid.
Mm.
When my kids were small, my wife started dressing up for Halloween. But not so much when I was a kid.
There's something sultry about a dressed up woman.
Paul, can you put Ronnie's comment up?
Okay.
I'm afraid to put Ronnie's comment up, but okay. Hold on. Ronnie. Oh no. That's who you want Coop to be?
Uncle Fester. I like Uncle Fester.
Are you?
I was more of a Munsters guy though than an Addams Family guy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Munsters were.
That's another great question. Put that up, Paul. Are you a Munster or Adam Family's person? I think that's a great question.
That's a great question. Yeah. Oh, it's Munsters all the way.
Well, I think
I'm a Munster guy.
Well, but I'm going to tell you why I believe that, right? Because I think the Munsters were more geared for children. Adam's Family and the dialogue was a little more adult, needed more thinking to appreciate, I think, some of the writing and the humor than young kids. So I think that's why maybe a lot of us are Munsters. Because if you watch some of the Adams Family stuff now, it's kind of pretty genius, some of the writing.
Yeah. You think about that, you're 100% right on that. But I don't know. Herman Munster, I think, had a little more of a cartoonish character to him in a lot of ways.
Fred Gwynn.
Yeah.
Was haunted by that role for the rest of his life. Bashed the writers, bashed the creators.
My cousin Vinny broke him out of it.
Really? Well, yeah, it may have. But
That's right. That's right. The judge.
What's a youth? Is that a real Paul laugh or is that a soundbite?
That's
a real Paul laugh.
Was that a real Coop laugh? I know that. So, Coop, what's up in the news this week?
It's a lot of stuff going on this week. It was an interesting week. The big news, and I don't know if there's much to talk about this big news, but it still is big news, is that the sale of the premium cigar business of Imperial Brands has been completed. And what folks need to know about that is that sale included Altadis USA. It included JR Cigars, Casa de Monte Cristo, 50% of Habanos SA, and a couple of factories. So it's quite a big transaction that occurred this past week.
The whole cigar division.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything. Yeah.
Right. Which I'm going to tell you something. Almost every single soul I talked to said that they would never be able to sell it all in one solid piece.
Well, no, they didn't. They had to break it up because of Habanos. And there's a couple of investment groups that have made these purchases, but I guess behind the scenes, a lot of these investment groups are the same players involved. But they had to do two separate transactions, namely because of Habanos.
I understand, but even I'm talking. Forget the Habano side. I'm talking even just the retail division, the JR division, and Altadis USA. I mean, I think I talked to Lou about it and some other people. They said it was going to be impossible to have. Because the EBITDA evaluations were so different on all three components.
Yeah.
It was going to be hard for them to sell all three together, and they did.
They did. There's a little bit of misinformation going on about this transaction, and that's that when Imperial got Altadis, they paid a much larger price. But people have to remember that when they divested, they only divested the premium cigar division, and when Imperial had acquired Altadis, that included the machine made and the cigarette divisions. So that's why there was such a big difference in the transaction this time, is that the Imperial still kept a lot of what they had acquired originally.
Do you see any expected changes in the near future, or pretty much status quo? Most people won't even know what's going on.
Everyone's saying status quo. Typically, when there's a big acquisition that I see corporate-wise, they try to keep business as usual as much as possible for the first 9 to 12 months.
For a little bit of time.
Yeah, then you start to see some changes happen. People start leaving. Organizational structures start changing. So, but I think the rest of 2020, the average consumer won't really feel this.
At the 8 to 12 month mark, you'll start seeing people resign.
Take other opportunities, Yeah, that's what I've seen happen with these types of things in the past.
What else you got going on?
This is the time of the year where there's a lot of annual limited edition releases that hit the market, and there was a lot of them that were announced this week. The first one was the latest of the Davidoff Zodiac series. It's the Davidoff Year of the Ox. And what folks need to know about that is that's a 6x60. I see what you're holding up, Abe. That was already released, though.
Gone.
The Karloff.
Instantaneously.
Yeah. And that was kind of going back. The Karloff was kind of a placeholder this year for the Monster series. It's a resurrection of another series, which wasn't an annual series, called the Actors series.
Yes. Not to throw you off, but you were just talking about limited releases, so I threw that out.
Yeah, Karloff's gone pretty fast this year too, from what I've seen compared to like some of the previous Monsters. Karloff seemed to go very fast this year.
Yep, and oddly enough, the way he did it, not to get on a tangent, but making it all dress boxes and making more availability almost made it like sell faster. It was crazy.
It made it sell faster, and it wasn't as nuts as the dress boxes has been. It's probably
Listen, I think the sales equated the same or more because we made more and sold more. What we just had was a lot less angry people.
Yeah,
because there'd be a lot of angry people every year.
Yeah,
of course, when you're in my business, that's what you hate the most. When you have unhappy consumers, but every year it would create something, no matter what.
Wasn't it you who one year you had the Monster dress boxes? You put them on the website and it crashed like in a couple hours.
We talked about this when we had Pete on the virtual ones. It was even worse. We thought we had done something creative, and we put up this monster hunt where we put like whatever we got. It was like 40 boxes, right?
Right.
So we hit them all throughout our website. Like, I mean, you could be on a Zycar lighter page, and there'd be all of a sudden the monster box, right?
Yeah.
You could have been looking up Macanudo, and then in the middle of like 10 SKUs, there'd be the monster box. So we thought this was a genius idea. Then we threw 40 up there. We sent out this email to everybody because I'm thinking it's going to be like a week before people, find all these hidden boxes in thousands of pages, right? They were all gone in the first 28 minutes. Like, we couldn't believe it. So we had this plethora of people and there was no Facebook at this time or whatever. We were just getting bombarded with phone calls and emails from upset people. And, because they had gotten an email like, dude, I got this email 30 minutes ago. They're gone. And I was like, so that was a big catastrophe. We had to send emails out to everybody apologizing in this whole letter. And then what we did the next year was, because it was just like, okay, we just did it now. And we sent out an email figuring when they get it, they get it. The following years where we continue to do that format, we would let them know, hey, Monday at noon, this is going to start. And then we put up like 6 or 7 boxes on Monday through Friday. So when the 7 were found Monday, then you had an opportunity on Tuesday, and that kind of alleviated this problem a little bit. But these limited releases, especially now, the bigger we get, the bigger our reach becomes, the more awesome fans and patrons that we acquire over the decades, the worse these kind of times become. Because it's not like when we get these limited releases, it grows exponentially with our following or our faithful fans. That's growing, and we get maybe a little bit more. So it becomes more of a problem at our level now.
Yeah, no, I can understand that too. And it's interesting with some of these annual limited releases. I think some of them keep legs more than others, you know. So I think, you know, the Monsters has still kept a pretty good following. You know,
Not only
obviously I
kept
think
the
it's a
following,
lot.
but has developed spin-off copycats.
Yeah,
Yes.
very
I
true.
saw some crap. People now basically literally copying the Monster Halloween crap. They even made like
the cards,
like the Garbage Pail Kids. You know, that Pete had originally done like over 10 years ago, and then Topps contacted him to cancel it, and then they made like these little same things. Looks like a Garbage Pail Kid, and it's our idea now. So not only has it had legs, it's basically generated people to try to emulate it and copy it, which is always a great thing when you know that people are trying to do that you got something that's really special.
Yeah.
If there's one thing we learned this week, Pete still has it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
you know what's funny that you say that though. It's like the whole like TAA. Listen, when the TAA asks us, "Hey, please make a TA exclusive," I go, "Why? What would I even try when Pete's got that on such a lockdown? Because he makes great TA exclusives, and I buy it myself because he makes great cigars, and I know where it comes from. But he's got such a lockdown on the Monster. He does it better than anyone. He does the TAA better than anyone.
He did the TAA. He did the TAA. He did it better than anyone because I think that's we had him on our show. It's coming to an end, but I think Coop and I have talked about this. That's what ruined TAA cigars. Instead of keeping it something special, all of a sudden every year there were 30 different TAA. Everybody had a TAA.
Yeah, I did it 1 year. Abe, I did it 1 year, and I realized, you know what? No need for it.
You got lost.
You got lost. Exactly. Well, exactly. When you're competing listen, when you do your homework and you realize that at the end of the day, out of all the 30 TAA that are out there, like you said, 60%, 70% is Pete Johnson, the one that's selling his TAA. Everybody else is just fighting for scraps.
In my opinion,
I don't want that fight, man. It's no
in
need
my
for
opinion,
it.
there was 2 TAAs that sold epically, and maybe 2 other ones that were decent and did well and well received. Outside of that, they come and go. I couldn't even tell you what they were.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, Abe, the other thing about Pete is I think in the last couple of years, I've seen Pete. Pete's done some great things, and now I think he's kind of turning it for the greater good right now. You know, he is getting much more involved in cigar rights and taking a leadership role in the cigar industry. Maybe not that he was not a leader beforehand, but it's been a lot more visible in the last couple of years. We're seeing for sure.
Well, I think what's happened was Pete was always, and this became Pete Johnson's show. Sorry, Wani.
No, that's all good. Please.
Sorry,
Pete was.
We're in the industry, bro. It's all good.
You know, Pete was always really involved in industry rights. So he was one of the first people.
Exactly.
When we talked about starting an organization that would eventually become the CRA, Pete was one of the first guys in the room, like a couple of years before that organization was even formed. But Pete's got more involved in doing stuff for the PCA through his products, through his people, and I got to tell you, man. It's not just him. It's become industry-wide. The Carlito and Padron project. This is good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. We're heading for a nice corner next year for sure.
Stuff for our industry. These guys are getting excited. They because I think just look, it happened in my organization. So I'm not directly pointing this at anybody before anybody takes this out of context, right? So this is just a complete generalization. But my team could tell you, right? We had growth on our e-commerce side and our national audience every year since its inception. Like it just grew. And then 2018 was the first year where we didn't grow. And, you know, what happens, I think, is you just get into this mode of complacency and where you just go through the routine and emotions. I think that's kind of what happens in the cigar industry at some point, right? These guys just go, and then something gets triggered. Like for us, it was 2018. I'm like, after all these years, what's going on? So that's when that became my centralized focus. We hit 2019 really, really hard with getting more creative and interactive and trying to acquire new patrons, keeping the patrons we got, you know, keeping our level of customer service as high as possible. And we're reaping the benefits, you know, in 2020 for it. So I think it's kind of what is happening in this industry. It's a resurgence of excitement, getting out of what they had been. I think COVID shook things up a little bit, right?
It did.
It shook it up. And now like the creative juices are flowing again. I mean, look, I love Carlito Fuente, man. Carlito Fuente came to the First Great Smoke 15 years ago. I've seen more of Carlito Fuente in the last 6 to 8 months than I saw in the last 15 years.
Absolutely.
He's everywhere.
The amount of acts, it's funny that you said, because I was talking, because I know Pete had posted something the other day, going back to Pete. He's not as much on Zoom, and we were doing a Zoom every week. We cut down to, once a month. And man, Fuentes, I mean, the whole family, they're all over. I mean, they're like, you have more access to Fuente in the last 2-3 years than you've ever had. And Carlito, when you talk to the guy's just a great cat, good people. Cynthia, same thing. And they're personable people. They're not stuck-up people, and they'll talk to you, and they're cool. But the amount of access that we've given our cigar smokers in this industry is the last 2 years is way above and beyond. I mean, it really is pretty crazy. But it needs to be done. It needs to be done.
It's almost as if the Fuente family discovered Facebook this year.
Well, I think it's a lot. I think that is a lot of it, Abe. I think that from what I've understood is that they didn't really understand this that much, right? Like, it wasn't that they were being distant. They just didn't get it, right?
Right.
Yeah. And according to what I've heard is, once COVID happened, they had to start thinking the way they changed. And I was talking to Jeremiah Mirafel on my show, who co-hosts with Carlito, and it was really a lot of when the whole COVID thing hit, he was saying they had to change things. He was stuck in his house in Belgium and he didn't know what to do. So that's how this kind of all. And then I think Carlito just got hooked on it once he saw it. I think he's been hooked on it. I mean, he was tuned into my show the other night.
Carlito's been tuning into our show like almost every week.
He's on just about every week.
Yeah, this is a good result of our industry. I think I don't know where I said it, but I think you're going to see the renaissance. This is going to be a renaissance time for the cigar industry coming into 2021.
Yep, I agree.
So what else you got, Coop?
I'll kind of go through some of these limited editions I mentioned. I mentioned Davidoff Year to Ox. That's going to be a 6x60 offering in the Davidoff Zodiac series. The new Goldie was announced this week. The Goldie Laguito number 6. And that's going to be a pretty big Goldie, a 6.5 by 56, based on the Cuban size. Kind of a later start for the Goldie this year. Normally that's been unveiled around trade show time, but obviously things have been delayed because of COVID. General's bringing back the CAO Vision. And
I saw that.
Yep. They're bringing it back. They're putting a new blend. There's a new blend that's going to be with that, and a slightly changed packaging. They're also releasing a Partagas limited reserve Decadus 2020. And what's interesting about that CAO Vision
that was the green label Partagas, if anybody can remember that.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that CAO Vision and that Partagas combined with the General Espinosa Warzone is going to have 3 Cameroon limited edition cigars in market at the end of the year for General, which I thought was kind of interesting. They're putting 3 different Cameroons out this year.
How much of the main consumer base you think actually even realizes that?
Probably not much, except these are limited releases that they're targeting certain consumers who probably are more aware of that.
I mean, anybody who's over 40 or 45, because I mean, that was one of my that's my special cigar, that green label Partagas, right?
Right.
That came in the glass tube. So anybody who's over 40, when they see that, they're gonna go, wow. And Vision was so innovative at the time. It was, looking back on it, it was kind of a little bit of a cheesy concept. But when it came out, it went. People wanted it. They liked it. I can't even remember the blend of the cigar, to be honest with you. It was even a good cigar. It was so long ago.
It was a Dominican blend, and it was made at La Aurora, the original CAO Vision, which was kind of something different.
Do you remember if it was a good cigar or not? Or
I remember. It wasn't that great, man. That was strictly packaging, because when they came out, I think they rushed it out. I remember them rushing it out, like September after the show. It was in July back then, and they rushed it out. And the cigars, my personal opinion, and from what I heard from traveling around, the cigars weren't great. That what sold it was that first huge run was that innovative box with the light, with the LED blue light, and you open up. It was pretty cool. But I remember them having issues with the blend that wasn't what they expected, especially and back then was still a $15, $18 stick.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, and that was kind of my opinion was it didn't age well at all. So I remember I think I bought some of them, and when I put them, some of them were okay when I had them. They weren't spectacular, but when I smoked them later, they just aged terribly, unfortunately.
Well, I'll tell you the funny thing, and I've said this. Anybody who's been watching this show for a while, right? It just seems like there's always a wrapper cycle in this industry, because San Andreas was like blowing up for a while. Everybody was San Andreas, broadleaf, this, that. And I remember saying at some point, I don't know, it was a year or 2 years ago, when I got in, everything was Cameroon, right? The CAO anniversary of Cameroon. I mean, you already had Fuente who'd been using Cameroon wrapper, but there was some really great Cameroon cigars. They did the Sanford's Reserve of the J.C. Newman. That was the Cameroon one.
That's right.
Series. The Cameroon was so hot and so big when I was first starting out. And then no one's talked about it in over a decade. And now you're starting to see this resurgence now of Cameroon wrapper. It's funny how after 25 years, I've kind of seen this in the industry where wrappers just kind of sickly come in and out of popular production.
Yeah, do you guys remember, and I agree with you, do you remember 10 years ago, no one wanted to ever talk about that they were using San Andreas?
It was like taboo.
It was taboo. You didn't want to talk about, you said Maduro, you did anything to hide the fact that you were using San Andreas. Now it's like, now it's the cool thing to use San Andreas.
Well, because I'm going to tell you what happened. You know why that's the case?
Go ahead.
I'll tell you why. Because Mexico was known to make really, 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 really bad cigars.
Yep.
Okay? So, and the problem, if my memory serves me correct, I got a lot of crap in here over the last 20 years, so sometimes my wires get jumbled. But for years, there was a law that Mexico couldn't import tobacco for production. So they had to make cigars with all Mexican tobacco, and they couldn't
Puro,
good filler or good binder or other components needed to make a cigar. So what you got was these harsh, which for a long time was a huge seller, but these kind of rough, harsh Te Amo cigars. That was that was the most famous cigar that's ever come out of Mexico. Absolutely. But I mean, no one in their right minds looking back at Te Amo and saying, "Man, those were great quality cigars back in the day," right? Yeah. So even though they grew this phenomenal wrapper, they had this stigmata of making bad cigars or not great cigars. So that's why it wasn't used. And then somewhere along the way, I don't know what decade or what year exactly, but it wasn't that long ago, that law changed. And now they were importing cigars, tobacco, and some better quality cigars and more variety, and not just that Te Amo dark stick product was coming out of the Torrent family, who started making a few other cigars. And then I think just somewhere along the way, people forgot Te Amo or the stigmata, and then being just calling it San Andreas made it popular. They came back.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Everything you're right. The one cigar that I remember, I think that really started to popularize it was when Oliva Serie V Maduro started using it. Because it wasn't the original wrapper on the Serie V Maduro, and I think when that started and Oliva started using it, and people saw what they could do, then more people started to come out and say, "Yes, we're using that wrapper." It's not that they weren't using that wrapper either. It's just they didn't want to say it.
Well, Abe, I don't know if you were around, but Abe, you probably remember. You remember that article maybe like about 18, 19 years ago?
Rothman?
The Turan family. That on Cigar Aficionado, that they asked him, so where do you sell your wrapper to? And he mentioned my number one, the number one company that I sell my wrapper to is Padron. and the Padrones, you know what they said? Nothing. They let it go. And that's when I think people started thinking, really? Because if you guys look back, do your research, look back, there was an article, and I remember when Alejandro Turan said it, I'm reading this, I'm going, no shit, because the Padrones always, said all Nicaragua, and they didn't go out to defend themselves because they don't need to. They make the best cigar. As far as I'm concerned, that's my favorite cigar. So that happened, and then little by little, the San Andres started coming into the equation again. That now people are using it more, and it became more acceptable. Yeah. And you look cool, dude. Look back. You're that no bullshit. No bullshit. Your slogan. Look back, because I remember that so clearly it was like 16, 17, 18 years ago or something like that.
I think one is definitely validity in that, because whether it's true or not, it's out there. It's out there. It was out there, and it's been talked about. And it maybe puts that question in people's head. Well, if Padron is using it, and I'll say I don't know one way or another if they are. But if they are, then that's a pretty good cigar, like you're saying. Why can't we use it as well? So it kind of legitimized it in a lot of ways.
That was without a doubt mainstream, but I'll tell you what the comeback I'm waiting for, and I'm really going to test anybody's knowledge here who really has been paying attention and been a cigar fan or in the industry for a while. But I'm waiting for the comeback for Stradivarius. Did I stub everybody?
I remember that.
I remember the name.
Was that a success? Do you view that as a big success?
Stradivarius has to be. There was two really big epic fails that I could call here. General's going to hate me for this, but it's true, so I'm sorry. But there's two epic fails. One was Diablo. Okay. The whole marketing, getting the
first Diablo,
cigar,
the spiciest cigar in the world.
Yeah, spicy picante, right? Hold on, but this was bad. The cigars were really terrible. The marketing was terrible. You said these parties in the box that came with molded melted cheese, and you were supposed to. It was just awful, right? But it's the only cigar that I know in my history, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, that was ever recalled. They recalled that cigar.
They took it back. They said send it back.
They made the reps go in, pick up all the boxes. They sent it back. I've never seen that in my industry ever. Even when someone has made a really crap cigar, they've never taken it all back. They went in there and said, not only do we want to discontinue this line, we want to get all the product off the shelves of America. So that was the other one. And the other one was Stradivarius. I can't remember what year, so somebody will have to Google this, right?
Stradivarius. I remember the name.
Got to be about 10, 11 years ago.
So here's this thing, another moment in my retail career where I said, this is like absurd. They made this first ever most expensive cigar that ever came out of General at the time. It was a $30 retail cigar. Okay. It came in this marble looking box.
Right.
Each cigar individually coffin. It was a light wrapper, if I can remember. Kind of a bland ass cigar. Individual wood coffin. They had these wax seals all on them and everything. $30. And we had just gotten our shipment in from the trade show, right? Not a cheap cigar.
No.
And we might have gotten maybe 18 boxes, 6 of 3 different sizes, whatever, 8 of 3 different sizes. We tried out. And this is going right into the holiday season, right? So you had the trade show. It dropped in October-ish. And I'm looking, there it is.
That's it.
So hold on.
That's it.
So I'm looking at the Cigar Aficionado, and there's not one ad for this cigar. Most expensive cigar in the history of your organization, not one ad during the holiday season. I went to the General website at the time, and where they have the list of their brands, right? It wasn't even listed as a brand, right? Now, the reps had to go around to all those stores. You see that wax blue seal that was on that box? Because every one of those, when you open the box, detached. So I remember my rep going in there, gluing them all back. It was just absurd, right? And I don't know who they were marketing to because I don't know who they thought would relate to Stradivarius.
Right.
How many people even know, that it's, I know it's a violin, Paul, so you don't got to jump in. But
I was going to say, of course.
Right. I know
Stradivarius.
Just talk about.
It's the cream of the crop.
We know, right? It's the Fender Stratocaster of cigar guitars. Yeah. So anyways, talk about not even relating to your consumer base. Right, this cigar was an epic fail, and I remember I was so pissed off that they didn't market it, they didn't advertise it. But I called up, I'm not selling this $30 cigar that you don't even believe in. Come pick this shit up. I literally did. They came and picked it all up, and I'm telling you, within 8 months, it was on JR Cigars like for $40 a box. $50 a box. Getting rid of it.
It was not a good cigar either.
It was a terrible cigar.
It was a Connecticut shade. I'm remembering, and it was just like. That was just. But you're right, Abe. I'm waiting for the point where that's resurrected.
You watch.
Abe, we'll have to mark this. I'm not unless maybe someone could challenge you for a dollar bet. I'm not challenging you on it. I agree.
I don't know for a fact, but I won't be shocked. It'll come with a little mini violin on the top of each box.
Little strings you can play on it. Please, General, don't bring that back.
We'll have the violin right next to the chopstick boxes.
Yeah, please don't bring that back, General. I'm okay with the Vision coming back, but not the Stradivarius.
Anything else you got going on, Coop?
Well, yeah, that's about it for this week. I'll just mention one last thing. The Hand-Rolled DVD movie is Hand-Rolled is now available on DVD starting next week.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I bought it through Netflix. I mean, through iTunes and Netflix, where it was right away. But I'm just curious, and I'd really be interested if people would just post this in the comments if you're watching the show. Who still watches DVDs?
Yeah, it's late. It's late for DVDs, man. It's like
me.
DVDs, CDs have gone by the wayside.
Me.
And
we just rewired our house and got some new components, and I told them to throw the DVD player out.
Right.
Nobody who's watching DVDs.
It's funny. There was a huge fight in my house because when we were on Long Island, they when the remnants of the hurricane came by, they lost cable and internet at my parents' house, and all we had was DVDs because you couldn't cast to the TV unless you had a wire because there was no Wi-Fi in the house. So our DVD players don't work here. They were broken, so we threw them out. And I have a limited number of DVDs now. We've gotten rid of them over the years. But I bought they're like $40 now on Best Buy. But I bought a DVD player. My wife's like, "Why are you wasting money?" I'm like, "What if the internet goes out? What the hell are we gonna do with 2 kids and it's raining outside and there's no internet?" But we haven't touched it since. We've had it since we came back. We haven't even touched the damn thing.
Wait. So in other words, Paul was that guy that had the membership of. For one penny, you get 25 DVDs. $1,000.
No, I had the B&G or whatever it was called. I had the club, the BMG club for CDs, though. I did when I was a kid.
I was going to say another great question: Who had Columbia House or BMG membership?
I did. My parents had it. I was a kid.
Wait,
I had it with the cassettes.
Well, that was cassettes. Holy shit! Wait, the best is, how many times did you join and never buy or pay them all off?
Right.
No, and then 20 years later, you're gonna notice.
Yeah, exactly.
My son actually still watches DVDs, and I'm glad because what he does is we go to the library once a week, and he kind of gets his blockbuster moment because he gets to go to the library and look at all the DVDs and pick out, and that's that's gone. There is Blockbuster and that whole feel of going to rent movies.
I worked at a Blockbuster for a few. Yeah, listen. I have every streaming service you could possibly have.
Right.
There's always something for the kids on there.
Right.
You got the Playboy channel?
No, we don't actually. I'm not allowed to get that.
You don't have every streaming service, but there's another thing. I didn't even know libraries are still around.
Yeah.
Why do you need a library?
Oh yeah, we bring the kid. No, they do a lot of family events now. During COVID, they really haven't, but they do a lot of really cool kid events there.
Great.
Got a library here.
It's become an event spot, but I'm just asking the question: why do you even need a physical library anymore?
Well, for early voting here in Palm Beach County, you have to go to the library.
Well, a lot of the libraries have access to internet and computers, which not everybody does. So that's libraries have kind of moved into the internet realm as well.
Yeah, but not here. Not in Palm Beach County. I would assume that everybody.
You're an aristocrat, Paul. I understand, but there are some places where people don't have internet or laptops and computers at home.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
All right, it's time. Let's see who belongs us. Do you have anything else, Coop? I'm sorry.
That's it, guys. No, you're all good. Thanks.
What do you got going on this week on the Scoop with Coop? Anything good?
Yeah, we got some more reviews coming out. The Aladino Habano reviews coming out this week, so stay tuned for that. And Steve Saka is going to be on the primetime show Thursday night.
Oh, in case anybody hasn't gotten enough of Steve Saka.
Yeah, but we have to give him a chance to complain about Aaron and I, so that's
the
forum to do that. Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie Hayes.
Oh, what do you mean from the Battle of the Bands?
Hey,
I'm sure.
Yeah. If you want to watch The Mandalorian, go in your cheap pockets and buy the Disney Plus. You're going to see it. He wants to know how he could watch the Baby Yoda show, he called it. All right. So this week, let's see who belongs in a cigar insane asylum. Of course, a Florida man was severely injured after he paid for a full contact experience. I thought it was going to be at a strip club, but no. It was a full contact experience with a black leopard. Dwight Turner, 50, paid $150 to a man named Michael Poggi, who runs what he describes on Facebook as an animal sanctuary. Is this some Tiger King shit here?
Yeah, there's a lot of these now.
Those
where you can
people
have
are a strange bunch, man.
Oh yeah,
it's in Davie, Florida. Okay, during August 31st leopard encounter. Detectives say a Turner paid to be able to play with a black leopard and rub its belly and take pictures. When he entered the backyard enclosure, guess what? The leopard attacked. Who do these guys think they are? Siegfried and Roy?
Even he got attacked.
Huh?
Yeah, even they attacked. They attacked Roy too.
Right? The leopard attacked. The big cat mauled the man, tearing one of his ears in half and leaving his scalp hanging from his head. Oh my God. Turner has since undergone multiple surgeries. Authorities say Poggi, who was licensed to own the leopard, was charged with allowing full contact with an extremely dangerous animal. Officers also issued a citation for maintaining captive wildlife in an unsafe condition. You both idiots belong in a cigar insane asylum this week.
Play dumb games, win dumb prizes.
Exactly.
Listen, I know a lot of guys that have done this before, that they'll do like a tiger cub experience and they pay like $150 to take pictures with a tiger cub. It's crazy, man. When they're like 6 months old, they can rip your face off.
Right. Listen. I was at my veterinarian had she runs a sanctuary, and I remember going there once, and I held a baby. I forgot what it was called, but it was like a descendant of the saber-toothed tiger, like this little baby. And
a liger?
I don't know. I made a Facebook post a while back, but this thing was strong. It was a little bit strong. He's grabbing me. He's putting his claws in me like, hey, oh. But yeah, man. I mean, nobody needs to go. It's one of the reasons why I don't go into an ocean. I don't need even to be near a shark, right? I don't care. Who wants a real life experience with a wild animal?
Oh, come on, man. Alex, do you go in the ocean?
I mean, I haven't been to the beach in like 5 years, but I'm not opposed to the ocean.
I mean,
Juan, do you go in the ocean?
Dude, what do you mean? I came in a Mario boat lift. I had to be in the ocean to get over here. I had no choice.
I don't understand that.
I love the ocean. I love the ocean. But the one thing about the Tigers, why are we going to spend $200, $1,000 to play with a tiger? We go to a gentleman's club and play with a tigress for $250.
Where are you going with the ocean? What was the ocean point?
Huh?
I don't know. There's nothing like going in the ocean to me. I know Coop doesn't either.
I love the ocean.
No,
so
yeah.
The Florida ocean is so boring, though. It's like getting in a bath. It's not like up north. There's like waves.
That's
what.
It's so great. It's just freeing that you're like part of this bigger thing.
It doesn't belong to you, man.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, now Valerie's kissing ass. She's saying she doesn't like the ocean either. She lives in Canada. There's no way she's going in the ocean there any time of year.
No shit.
Listen, you can't even get me on a boat, right? And take me out far enough where I can't at least see land. Unless it's like a big liner with 485 life rafts and satellite and a helipad, you're not getting, because look, I don't care, because if that boat goes down, I'm gonna die, right? But at least I know I can start swimming in the right direction. Right? I mean, I know
you can try, right? You have at least you can try.
Hope. You got the hope. At least I can start going right. When you're out there in the middle,
I never knew you were so paranoid.
I'm not.
You're afraid to die.
It's logic, man. It makes no sense. Why put yourself in that situation? Listen, dude. I come from Chicago. People have gotten lost and never found in Lake Michigan.
It's true.
Okay, listen. Lake Michigan. It's a damn lake. And you want to take the boat out to the Bahamas? No, thank you. I think there's certain things I don't do. I don't go in helicopters too, because
I agree. Like I have no desire to jump out of a plane.
They wanted me to come down in a helicopter for one of the Great Smokes. I said, "You're all out of your fucking minds. Never happened." Listen, here's my theory, and I told it to my team that was in the room that day when they said it. I said, "Let me tell you something. In my whole life, and it just happened recently, I can tell you one person I know who died in an automobile accident. Okay, that's almost 50 years on this earth. I can't tell you anybody who died in a plane crash. I can't tell you anybody who died in a train crash. I can't tell you anybody who I know personally who's drowned at sea. But I can tell you 5 people I know who died in a helicopter crash. Those are kind of odds to tell you. Don't get in goddamn helicopter.
Do it.
And I don't mean know like Kobe Bryant. No, I mean like I know they're people we knew. So screw that. No helicopters.
Carlos Santana said, heroin and helicopters never turn out well.
I'm just telling you, man. Don't do helicopters. Just certain things that statistically aren't necessary. Don't do helicopters.
I know guys when I lived on Long Island that commute to work every day in a helicopter. I mean, they're billionaires, but yeah. Listen, I wasn't flying. I've never flown in a helicopter, but that would pick him up at a helipad in his backyard every day and fly him to Manhattan to his building where he worked. And he's still around.
I went up
in
a hot air balloon in Napa. Felt totally fine. Never give me a
No
helicopter.
way. That scares me even more.
Totally
that
fine.
scares me even more.
Great.
You got fire with a big fabric balloon, man. That thing can go up like a tinderbox.
I've never heard of a hot air balloon death crash. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, look it up. Look it up. In France, it's happened a lot.
Well, France. It's French. Okay. All right.
We did an insane asylum with one of them. It was somewhere in Asia where they do the hot air balloon festival with fireworks in them, and a bunch of them came burning down, falling on people.
Well,
there's no control in a hot air balloon. You're
that
crazy.
was a setup for failure.
You know what? There is no control. It's kind of cool because when we did it in Napa, they can't tell you where they're going to land. So there's a van that just follows them so they can bring you back to where you got in. And landing is not a pleasant experience. I mean, you bounce, you rough, you could tip over. But I'd go in a hot air balloon any day. Never get me in a helicopter. A helicopter is just a fishbowl with wings just waiting to fall, man. No way. No way. Not happening.
That's awesome.
All right. Listen,
it doesn't have wings, just so you know. It has
whatever, propeller, whatever you want to call it. Get out of here. Just looking at it, it's an anomaly. It gets off the ground. So, anyways, this was a fun show. I had a good time, Wani.
Great time always with you guys. Thank you guys for having me again. You guys are awesome. And yeah, man, look forward to seeing you and visiting you soon, Abe. And Paul, stay safe, my brother. Al, nice to meet you. Coop.
All right, buddy.
Now I'm gonna bust your balls a second because I have to before we go. Why are you displaying second place trophies of baseball in the back? Only first place trophies are allowed.
Because my kids couldn't win the first. They're not mine, they're my kids. I wouldn't have the trophy at all.
I have to mess with you. I love you, baby.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
You know that's a real baseball fan that he knows it's a second place trophy by the look of it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah.
I would have never picked that up. All right, next week we got Eric Espinosa. I think this is the pre-La Zona Palooza show. So we'll have him on. I think we're going to have a little special guest appearance by Glenn Loop. I think he'll be officially retired as this next week.
Yes.
I want to know what he's going to be doing. I don't want to talk about legislation at all. I want to know what Glenn Loop's retirement plans are. That's what I want to know. So everybody have a great weekend. If you're going out, be safe. Enjoy your kids. Have a great Halloween. And we'll catch you all next week. Keep it lit. Peace.